Oh, hello, good people of the world. Just trying to get into my Facebook. It doesn't give me a notification for like the longest time. Here we finally just
With
got in.
MailChimp's marketing smarts,
It's
you got
gonna
a whole lot.
play an ad for me to watch my own fucking show, folks. You fucking little cocksuckers. Hopefully I make money on that ad. A whole penny and a half or something, right? Oh, folks, we're there. Look, I got some new sludge today. I thought I'd try it, some peace tea. I also, folks, you won't believe this. I follow the royal family, okay, on Instagram, like everyone does. I mean, they only have, 500 million followers. And so, anyway, so I follow them, and they normally post shit like you could imagine, like I'm shaking hands with this asshole, or hanging out with this piece of shit, or we're discussing this stupid shit that we'll never do, or that kind of crap, right? Because that's what they do, right? but but today she posted a picture of her touring a factory that makes her favorite corporate sludge. And I was like, holy fuck, well, what is this shit, right? Because corporate sludge is a big part of our life, and we want to know. We're interested, so anyways, I discover what the shit is, and I've never fucking heard of it in my life. So I go to the store that sells all the fucking special corporate sludge, and I mention it to them. And they're like, oh yeah, we don't have that on the shelf, but we got some in back. I'm like, oh, you do, eh? Oh yeah, and he's like, it ain't cheap. It's like $2 a can plus all the ridiculous taxes. I'm like, well, I'll take a 6-pack and see how it goes. So I grabbed a 6-pack of the sludge. Now I don't have it on this show, folks, because it's still chilling in my fridge, and it's a kind of, I don't even know what flavor it is. It doesn't have a name of a flavor or anything on it. I don't know if it's cola, orange, what the fuck it is, but we paid the big bucks for it, thanks to my fans who gave me the money yesterday to make that possible. And we'll figure out what this sludge that the Queen likes so much is like. But right now, we got this kind. Now, last time we tried a new flavor of the peace tea tree, folks, it tasted like fucking cough syrup, and we wanted to barf, right? And so we got a new kind here, and we're gonna see if this is any better. It's called the Snowberry. And we're gonna crack this bitch open and see if it's edible. The last flavor was like so disgusting, I almost puked. And so here we go. Cheers. I don't know what the fuck this tastes like, but at least it's edible. Okay, so there we go. It's edible, folks, unlike the cherry. Stay away from the cherry. Tastes like fucking cough syrup. I mean, I almost barfed. And so I still drank it because I'm a man with cock and balls. And when I buy something, I fucking drink it or eat it. Doesn't matter if it tastes good or not. Gotta man up. And so there you go. We're gonna do some drugs here, folks. Fuck up our fucking shit. And it's gonna be a glorious goddamn fucking moment in time. Right? And later on tonight, folks, I'll play you some music. I won't be smoking because can't do that in my living room right now. I have the kids at my house. But we'll play some music, and I'll show you the sludge that the Queen drinks. And we'll crack that bitch open and see what it tastes like. And so, or what even flavor it is. It's a bizarre can. I'll have to show you the whole package later on today. And the sludge is made in Scotland. And so, here we go. We got a big fat dab. And we're going to fuck up our shit. But these peace teas, folks, these are made here in Canada, I believe. Let me just double check that. And most of them are disgusting. The cherry's totally fucking rude. They got this boysenberry, made me barf. They got a raspberry, strawberry, all the fucking berries that sound like something that's edible are totally disgusting. This one's not bad. It's a snowberry, so that's nothing it's the flavor they've made up. And who knows where the fuck this is made? Either Canada or the United States, but it's readily available everywhere for $1 a can. It's super cheap. It's some of the cheapest sludge you can buy in Canada, at least. Alcohol is disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, usually, folks, I don't judge people by the drugs they do. I judge them by their behavior. But if they drink alcohol regularly around me, well, I don't really want them around me. Any other drug, I don't mind. They can shoot crack, they can shoot heroin, smoke crack, PCP, LSD, who cares, right? It really doesn't affect your personality too much. But alcohol, yeah. Not only is it disgusting, right? But it smells so vile, folks, that if you were to pour a glass of that shit within 50 in the same fucking building as me, I would barf. And I'd make sure the barf landed on you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I would. I've done it before, folks. Barf has landed on drinkers that have in my family before, because my dad was an alcoholic, so he'd have, people around all the time. And I would barf on them. Yeah. And so there you go. Matter of fact, one time, folks, we were at a big dinner party with a lot of bigwigs, CN bigwigs, and like the Prime Minister of Canada, the Vice Prime Minister of the United States. This was a big meeting for my dad. Well, not really. He meets with these people all the time, but it was an important meeting, right? And some bigwig leaders from all around the world and some business tycoons. There's about 30 people there at the end of the day. And I was sitting next to this fucking most disgusting alcoholic. I mean, he smelled so bad, folks. Anyways, I tried to ignore it and eat my pasta, because we're at the dinner and, you try and be professional. You know how it is. And what happened, folks, was I ended up puking right on my plate, like big time barf. And all 30 people got up and walked away, and they're like, oh my God. And you know what, folks? Anytime I see any of those people to this day, like I just saw one about a month and a half ago, they bring up that moment. Oh, yeah. They're like, that was a special moment in my life. No one's ever done that before. Oh, yeah. They're like, you really helped, ease the tension. Oh, I know I did. And so that's how that is. I do my best. I don't know the current president of the United States. I've never met Mr. Joe Biden. My dad died 5 years ago. I did meet Ronald Reagan. He stayed at my dad's hotel and did some business with him. Was the only American president I ever met. The guy was a piece of shit scumbag, and I didn't show up at the meeting because my dad knew I wouldn't be able to behave myself. And so, but we did meet in the pool area and stuff like that, but I didn't go to dinner with them because I would have said things that may have been inappropriate for the meeting, Oh, yeah, they would have. Because I had no love for Ronald Reagan. Matter of fact, we had a party when he fucking died. We celebrated. We were like, woohoo! Ding dong, the witch is dead. The wicked witch is dead. And so that's how it was. But my dad, he didn't give a fuck about political things. He's all about cash, right? And so They don't talk politics at all. They talk business only, and my dad only talks cash. And if the subject worries to fucking politics, well, my dad leaves the table. He's like, there's nothing here to discuss. I couldn't give a fuck. My dad never voted in his life. He's like, politics? Who the fuck are these assholes? He's like, son, you want to know who really runs the world? People like me and you. That's who runs the world. These fucking scumbags are nothing. They do as they're fucking told, or they fucking get fired. And that's the end of the story. Corporate slime, like what my dad was, tell them what to do. And if they don't do it, they're done. Finito. Out the door. It's over. They're only yes men. That's what politicians are. They're yes men. Yes, sir. No, sir. Right away, sir. That's all they do. Yes, you to fucking death. And so here we go. I'm firing the home. I remember when my dad was doing over $1 billion of renovations to the hotel. And shareholders were like, that's a lot. That's a huge loss, right? And my dad was like, no, not at all. Because the government will reimburse us every fucking penny of it. And you know what? They did. And so he's like, we don't have to pay to spend all this money on our hotel. We're going to have the fanciest hotel in the fucking world, at least in the Western world. And we're going to make the government pay for every penny of it. And that's what he did. Because that's how corporate slime works. Like I say, they tell them what to do, and then they do it. Or they lose their fucking job. That's what it comes down to. Oh, yeah. They don't do what they're told. The next day, scandals start pouring into the media every day, one after another. Before you know it, they're done. Oh, yeah. They don't have to be true. But every media outlet will report them nevertheless. Oh, yeah. Because do you know who the media works for, folks? They work for the corporate slime who pays their fucking bills, right? Oh, they do. You don't do as you're told, you'll be lucky you don't end up in prison. That's what it comes down to. They'll have you ranked as a fucking pedophile or who knows what. Your life is over. In the political world and the corporate world, you're finished. Oh, yeah. It's good times. And so that's how it is, folks. Here in Canada, folks, they're passing some new laws about hate crimes. Folks, imagine this. It's against the law to hate someone. I mean, they're regulating your feelings. Next, it's going to be against the law to fucking feel sad or feel glad or who knows what fucking feeling might become a crime. Right, folks? You know, only actions should be a crime. You know that, folks? Not your fucking feelings. Big wasp in here. Come on, wasp. Leave. Leave, thank you. Yeah, you know, I don't hate anyone either. But if you want to hate someone, that's your fucking choice. You should be free to hate whoever the fuck you want to hate. You know, there's a difference between feelings and action. Now, if you take your feelings and you go out and kill black people for your spare time or whatever that is that you hate, well, then those are actions that need to be dealt with, right? Oh, they are. But if you just hate people and you keep it inside and maybe say the odd racist comment or whatever it is, maybe it's not a race you hate, maybe it's just a particular individual, so you say nasty things about that individual. Well, that should be your God-given gift, your choice to do so. Oh, it should be. You know, if you have hate inside, you should let it out. It's true, folks. It only gets worse if you keep it inside. You know what happens to people who keep their hate inside, folks? Well, we have prime examples of it in the United States in the school shooting section. Oh, yeah, almost all those school shootings are a result of some kid who's got a lot of hate inside, and he's been keeping it inside. And it builds up and it builds up, and one day he decides, I'm going to do something about these fucking people I hate. And he shows up to school with a gun and kills them all. Ah, fuck. Problem solved. And so, yeah, if you have hate inside, you should be letting it out. That's the best way to deal with it. Maybe then you won't become a violent, crazy maniac. You know? It's not a guaranteed scenario, but it's certainly better than making it against the law altogether. It just makes no sense, right, folks? And so, yeah, they're going to regulate your feelings here, you know? Oh, they are going to tell you what you can hate and what you should like, and who knows what the fuck else, right? Oh, yeah. It's true. And so we're going to do another big fat dab. Got a big fat dab here. One of my crazy neighbors are yelling at each other. It's not the normal neighbor who whacks his children. It's a different one. Oh, yeah. You know, we've got some charming people living behind us. My real neighbor, he's a nice guy. The people who I share a house with hear nothing about him. He says hello, I say hello. That's the extent of our conversation. I barely even know he lives next door. But these people who live behind me, one beats their children and the other one just screams and yells all day. And so I tend to take more notice of them, you know? And so that's how it is. Yeah, they could make a sitcom over here too. Fuck, it wouldn't be hard. And so, let's see if we can understand what they're saying. Oh, it's different neighbors altogether. It's just the neighbors on the left side of me. and they're just talking in their yard, and I'm not used to them doing that, and so I've never heard them before. But they're just hanging out, talking in their yard, doing their thing. They're not the ones I thought they were. And so there we go. It's no big deal. It's nothing entertaining there. We got our big dab. And we're going to get all fucked up. Oh, yeah, we are. Oh, and this dab, we don't know what it's called because, oh, we probably do know what it's called. It's called Agent Orange. Because there's a man, he's smoking joints with strangers. With everyone he meets, he fills with danger. With every hit he takes, another friend he makes. Odds are you would like him if you met him. I'm marijuana man, marijuana man. He's rolling up a number and passing it your way. Oh, yeah. I didn't write that one, folks. A friend of mine wrote that. He used to be a comedian who toured all across America. He's not the kind of comedian like George Carlin where you know his name if he's mentioned on the internet. He didn't even have a web page, really. But he was well known in the bar scene. And he toured all across North America. And unfortunately, folks, he died of cancer maybe 10 years ago. It was tragic. I remember he was trying to beg people for money, and he was like, because he really didn't need that much money to save his life, but unfortunately he needed it. And who knows if it would have saved his life or not anyways. But he needed about $100,000, and he had about 10. Anyways, he didn't come up with the money. He begged me for money many times, and I'm like, dude, I just don't have that kind of cash, you know? Just don't fucking have it. I'm sorry. You know, I'd like to help you. But, I know. I'd be lucky to come up with $500. Fuck, at least you have a job. Maybe you can borrow it from the bank. That's what I suggested to him because he had a job. He's making 50, 60 grand a year, you know? I thought he could borrow it from the bank. That's what I suggested to him. Anyway, everything fell through for him. Nobody ever did help him, including the fucking bank. And after 4 years of that, he stayed on the road the whole time. He died. And that's the way of the world, right, folks? But I was kind of shocked because I was like, it's really not that much money. But unfortunately, when you don't have it, it is that much. It is a lot, you know? But I really thought he would be able to come up with it. He knew so many people. Anyways. Here we go, Fire in the Home. Oh yeah, Mark Boyer also died. That's a different person though altogether. 3 years ago, I guess, 4 years ago maybe. Mark Boyer also died of bad circumstances, folks. Mark Boyer had a heart problem. It was making him very sick. His oxygen levels in his bloodstream were so low that the doctor was surprised he was even alive when he finally went to go see the doctor. The doctor goes, we need to wheel you into fucking emergency surgery pronto. And I mean, you got to be close to death for them to agree to do that, folks, because usually people die waiting to get surgery in Canada. But no, Mark Boyer's situation was so serious. He went from emergency room. They were like, we need you in the operating room, like now. And he might not make it to tomorrow. And you know what Mark said? Mark said, fuck that shit. I'm getting out of here. And they're like, well, we highly advise against that, sir. I doubt you'd be alive in a week if you leave here right now. And he was like, I'll take my chances. 5 days later, he was dead. He didn't need any money, folks. Healthcare is free here in Canada. Unlike my friend who was an American and needed to come up with money to save his life. He just refused healthcare services, which isn't an easy thing to do in Canada because it ain't legal. To refuse healthcare services and to walk out of the hospital means they're going to phone the police, and the police are going to come looking for you to try and drag you back to the hospital. Oh, yeah. And so they, and so, you know, you kind of have to hide out when you do that kind of shit. And it's because a lot of people who are sick, you know, aren't thinking clearly, which clearly was the case of Mark, right? Had he been thinking clearly, maybe he would have still been alive today. Or maybe he wanted to die. You never know, folks. There's a lot of cheery people out there. They even bring joy to everybody around them. And then they hang themselves in their fucking closet. Or overdose on drugs the next day, you know? Like the lead singer to the Carpenters or Robin Williams, who hung himself in his closet. And so that's just how it is. Never know what's going on in the mind of another. He might have been like, good, can't wait to die. Interesting thing about Mark Boyer, folks, when he did that, it was a crime, like I say, to walk out of the hospital and refuse medical attention. But that law has been changed now since he's died. Had nothing to do with him, but nevertheless, it's happened. Now you're allowed to fucking refuse medical treatment and say, I want to die. But you must put it in writing to show that you are of sound mind and that you're thinking clearly. They figure if you write it down, that must mean something. And so it's got to be done in writing. But yeah, you're allowed to now say, I wish to just die. And so there you go. I think it's a move forward, you know, like why put somebody through that shit if they don't want to go through it, right? Yeah, and yeah, there's a waiting list now in Canada for assisted suicides. I guess a lot of people don't like being alive. I don't know what the fuck their problem is, but fuck, you don't want to be here, you know, there's a shortage of resources. Now you don't have to. Makes the world more spacious for the rest of us who do want to be here. And so, you know, yeah, they probably don't smoke weed, but no lie, folks, there's like a waiting list. And get this, do you want to know the most common reason for suicide, folks? Assisted suicide here in Canada, at least here in British Columbia, I was reading recently. It's old people who are lonely. Oh, yeah. They're old and lonely. Nobody gives a fuck about them. And who knows why, right? My mother's old, but she's got lots of friends and her children, and they call her all the time. I call her at least once a week. She's got a husband. I just wonder, what have you done to live a full life and not have any living friends left? Clearly you've done something. But anyways, that's for them to deal with. And yeah, that's the majority of the people who want to do that, you know? And so maybe they moved a lot, you know? My dad used to make us move a lot in school. It's always hard to meet new people when you're always moving, you know? You meet new people and then you're gone. I always stay in contact, so I don't really have the same problem as many, but most people have problems with digital communication as a friendship only now. But yeah, I have people I haven't seen in 30 years, but I still phone them. Go, hey, what's going on? One day we got to hang out and party again. It was good times, you know? So we're going to make another big fat dab here. And so we're going to do another big fat dab here. Fuck up our shit. Don't cry out fucking loud. Just keep it inside. And learn how to hide your fucking feelings. Fly high and proud. And if you shall fall, remember you almost had it fucking all. This baby cried the day the circus came to town. She didn't like parades just passing by her. So she packed up her fucking shit and took off with some clown. And before long, she was dancing on a high wire. I know a lot about her, 'cause you see, baby, she's as fucked up as fucking me. Fire in the hall. So Britney Spears is in court, folks, awaiting a decision. Should come anytime. Could come today. Could come tomorrow, next week. But it's coming. Will she be free to spend her money as she fucking wishes? She is the highest paying musical act right now. And so it's a lot of fucking money that somebody else is basically stealing from her. See, that's an old man who ain't gonna have anybody visiting him when he's older. Because everybody knew he was an asshole. That's why these things happen. Not even his own children. Because he couldn't even do that fucking right. And so there you go. It's just how it is. Da, da, da. Oh yeah, once she cuts ties with her dad, she'll never talk to that man again for the rest of her life, I bet. Like, why would you? Guy's a piece of shit, man. Went to court, said you were mentally ill and unable to fucking take care of your own children. That's the kind of person I never take calls from again for the rest of my life. You know? Oh, it is. Anyways, fire in the hall. Oh my gosh. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Well, I should run, folks. Oh yeah, I should. It's been going on for almost 40 minutes. Can you believe it? Yeah, the media only portrayed her as having mental problems because her father brought it up, right? And they just love shit like that. And so that's how that is. She's learned through the years to not talk to the media. It's a wise move when you're in that line of work. They do you no favors. You know, sometimes they want to invite you to a show to talk about your new album, but it ain't worth showing up to, as many of them have learned through the years. And so it's best you have a zero communication policy with those people and let them just do what they do and you do what you do. Oh, yeah. And when they're around, you give them the finger, which she's done many times. And so, you know, they have no love for her and they can only get shit from her father. So that's the only information they get, right? Meanwhile, she's the highest paid musical act in the fucking world. So No, we're going to do one last one. This one's just a tiny one, it looks like. Hard to say. Yep, now I got to run.